Okay. Here we go. See? This isn't so bad now, is it? Alright, cool. So I think we got this. Yay, right? Okay, so obviously I don't expect people to be here right off the bat. Can't really expect that now, can we? Obviously, one person in here already. That's awesome. My name's Campbell. I am with Zero Focus Entertainment, and this is a Midday Madness tester, as we are going to try to convert from the old Spreaker days and restart going through videos. So that's exactly what this is. Now, what we do on Spreaker is we just do a bunch of like crazy talk bullshit. We share our thoughts, we interact with the audience, and basically at the end of the day, everyone splits off and goes their own separate way happy. Everyone gets something out there. Now, you will notice I am playing music in the background today. It's something we typically did on Spreaker, but we want to be more careful in the future, obviously, due to copyright issues. And this will be one of the few times I actually do that. Bobby Mack is actually working on getting together like a little soundtrack of custom files that we can play in the background. Like just custom little, I guess, calming beats you could use. Decided not to wear a hat today. I'm not sure how I feel about that. I never liked not wearing hats, honestly. I'm a hat guy, but that and I shaved. You will see I did another tester on here where I was testing camera positions and everything the other day. Looked so much more manlier and like someone you would actually take seriously. Now I don't. That's fucking gone. Like, go back and look. Anyone that actually pays attention to this, go ahead, go back and look, and you will see just it's not working for me. Now, difference today in being here, I am not testing camera angles or anything. I've actually settled with this. This is the best I'm going to get doing this right now, I've decided, and this is what I'm going to stick with, obviously, as Bobby Mack has, we both agreed upon this, and somehow I'm the one to hash out all the details like normal, and he will probably continue operating Spreaker until he makes his transition over, but I'm telling you, Mac in the morning just fucking... It's amazing. It's awesome. It's actually fucking hilarious. He's been doing that, and he's been doing, like, wrestling reviews recently. By recently, I mean last year where we left off. That was the most recent he's done. So we have that going, but, I mean, hey, you gotta start somewhere, right? So, I did have stuff planned out to talk about today, some subjects to hit on that I thought I could do some of my Fat Man rants on, and, actually, you will notice if you go back and pay attention to my Twitter while this is being done through my personal Twitter before we start launching through the actual Zero Focus Twitter, like, I was really bad off like 2 years ago. And actually, I think this angle's kind of flattering. It makes me look a little, stockier, which is awesome. I'm completely cool with that. So what this primarily is these are primarily talk shows almost in a way, I guess. I know the technical term before was podcast, and people were all accepting of the term podcast, but I don't know if this is much podcasting as much as it is ranting or, just going in circles, and that's the thing. That's it's always how it works. But one thing is I'm always good on the mic. Don't know how I feel about doing the whole camera thing, but we're going to go for it. So one big subject that I've actually been watching break down is this whole presidential bullshit. How about that? We'll touch on that one later. That's a whole nother, but the presidential election, there was this big controversy across from that, and, there's a lot of people who are for Trump, there's a lot of people who are against Trump, there's a bunch of riots going on. Bears eat beets. Do bears eat beets, though? That is actually a really good question. We will explore that later as well on this. I guess. Do bears eat beets? I don't know. I currently do not have my laptop connected to the internet. If I did, I would Google it right now just to fact check that. But I'm going to choose to believe you right now, but we'll cross that bridge later. But this whole presidential election subject is a big issue. Now, there's a lot of people who are against Trump, a lot of people who are for Trump, and I gotta tell you, from where I stand, I like the guy. No, there never is. A lot of people never fact check, and that's one of the big problems, is no one fact checks. You can see something on the internet, and automatically you're gonna believe that. And that's one of the biggest problems we have with 2017 is everyone's so reliant on the internet these days that we're losing common sense. And it's not that people are getting dumber and dumber as each year goes by. It's just that we're becoming more and more reliant on this source of information that's being misused and misfed to us. And you can pretty much get away with saying anything on the internet these days. I can say, for example, where I was just talking about the whole political situation. Let's just say I wanted to be one of these idiots. Not idiots, because everyone's justified. Let me rephrase that. Let me say I wanted to be one of these people who want to unfairly, beat up Trump without looking into all the facts. And I wanted to say that the guy walks around naked with his face painted like a clown at night. I'm going to post that on Facebook. Someone's going to share it, guaranteed. And there's going to be a good amount of people that believe that. Then tomorrow you will see one of your friends randomly posting, "My God, can you believe what I heard? Donald Trump actually walks around the White House naked at night, dressed like with his face set up like a clown. What a sick fuck." That's exactly how the internet works these days. And sadly, that's been okay. Everyone has accepted that and left it to be like that. And that's how they pass their judgment. They don't actually fact check. They don't look into these things. Instead, we just automatically believe what anyone wants to say online. And that to me is just a shame, because I think that the whole fact, I'm 27, so I'm at that age where I've watched it build up slowly and become what it is today. And I think it's just an awesome concept. We're so much more integrated now. For example, anyone in this audience, whether you're watching this live, which I mean, there's only one person watching it live at the moment, thank you very much. I'm actually quite happy to see you stuck around. Or, if you watch it later, you might be from China, you might be from Japan, you could be, in Europe, you could be right, next door to me. But the fact of the matter is, we can all see this. We're all connected now, which is beautiful. Because we could use that to our advantage. We could do so many good things with this. Instead, we just abuse the shit out of it. There's so much online bullying. There's so much misguided information being passed around that people are believing. And the fact of the matter is, it's actually quite sad. Because again, something amazing that we could really be doing something with to make a difference in this world. And we're just letting it slip. And we're letting it fall. And I think it's a shame, because honestly, it's just going to continue to deteriorate and get worse unless people wake up. And it's going to be the one thing that destroys us as a civilization and as, people. Because we're going to let it do that. We're going to let it put a divide. It's just like all this, See, that's the thing, is I support the guy too, but that's actually one of the reasons I like him. I like the Twitter accounts. I like the fact that this guy opens his mouth too much. Because here's the thing, here's my opinion on the Donald Trump theory. Now, everyone's getting their panties in a twist over this, but just the media blowing it up. Now, he's very insistent on that. He's made that a very big issue, but I agree with it. I really think the media has hyped it up more than they needed to. I don't think he should give it that much attention, because then he's giving them more power by giving them attention. But at the end of the day, I honestly think that's all it is the media taking something he said out of context. And like I said, with technology these days, you can make anything look however you want. If you watch a lot of these videos being passed around online, you can tell that there's parts cut out and it's just copy and pasted together. And that's the thing. That's how half of that works now. Now, Donald Trump versus Hillary Clinton, I know that was a big issue. Personally, I was kind of on the side of Sanders. I thought Trump would be funny to get in. I thought he might be amusing. But I was more for Sanders. I agreed with a lot of what he said, but that time's passed and gone. They obviously chose to back Hillary, which was a big mistake. But here's the difference that separates Hillary and Trump. Trump wants something, he's going to tell you directly. He's going to tell you right out, like this whole insane idea, and I don't mean insane, I think it's a wonderful idea. But in a way, it's impractical, building the Mexican wall. I like it because he's not wrong. We need to be able to bring people in legally so that it doesn't hurt our economy as much as it is. But he's going to say that right out. And if it's something we don't like, we can shut him down. We, the people, as a nation, come together, say, no, this isn't how it works. This is what we're going to do about it. Hillary, though. Hillary's going to come up to you, dress something up like a gumball, and say, here, Here's this piece of gum. Go ahead, chew it. You're going to put that in your mouth, try to take a bite of it. It's going to be a fucking jawbreaker. And surprise, you've lost a few teeth along the way. And that's exactly where the difference is between them. Hillary will dress it up, make it look good, just like she was against same-sex marriage. She was against, the whole immigration policy to begin with. She had all these different views, but because she knew it would get her popularity, she suddenly did what? Changed her tune and went to the other side. Whereas Donald Trump's a little bit in the middle with everyone. People like what they say, what he says. People don't like what he says. He says what he thinks. He says his intentions. And yes, exactly, she is a bit of a snake. She is the complete definition of a corrupt politician. And granted, where I think it would be amazing to get the whole woman in the office thing going, and I think it would be a great way to say, here's to a new age, a new way of looking at things. That's just not the woman we should put in the office. It's just like everyone was so hyped up because of the color of Barack Obama's skin. That's not the reason you should elect a president. In my opinion, it worked out. I loved Barack Obama. A lot of people thought that he slipped up and made some mistakes, but you know what? The guy tried to do everything he said he would do. And for that, I thank him, because he really did try. Some of it was hit and miss, and yes, some of it he fell flat on his face, and we, felt that a little bit. But at the end of the day, he tried. What more can you ask for, right? After all, he was cleaning up after 8 years of Mr. I believe, the fish species and humankind can coexist peacefully. Who the fuck is George Bush talking to? Aquaman? But that's not the point. I digress. That is really, really not the point. At the end of the day, I honestly think, we got to give Donald Trump a chance. Like I said, that's the one benefit we have, is that he says what he's thinking. So, if he's going to come right out and say he's not going to try to sell you a popsicle and give you a wet gym sock, in other words, as Hillary would probably try to pass off. The guy is honest. The guy speaks his mind. And as people, we're always going to have that power and control to boycott or stand up for ourselves with something we don't like. And that, I think, is great. I honestly do. Because then, if there is an issue, we can stand up to it, say, no, this isn't how it's going to be. But at the end of the day, you wouldn't have got that with Hillary. With Hillary, we would have got her dressing it up however she wanted to, putting a nice pretty little bow on it, and you open it up on fucking Christmas and it's a fucking rattlesnake jumping out at your jugular. That's just pretty much how that works. And no one wants to see it that way. They just want to see the things that crazy Grandpa Trump is saying and get all puffy and offensive. And then with the media blowing it out of proportion and people doing that cut and paste tactic online, they want to go ahead and say, well, shoot, he's a sexist, he's against feminism, and it's just not how it works. That's another thing that actually has really got me within the past couple of months, is watching that whole feminist movement. And I support women's rights. I honestly do. I think it's wonderful. I think women should have every right that men have. But at the end of the day, it's not being looked upon right either. That's not being saw as the same. But that's another subject we'll touch at another time. That's just kind of tying into why people don't like the whole Donald Trump thing. But at the end of the day, it's like I said, I support the guy, and I give him my full back. I think he's a wonderful fella. He's a little crazy at times. He does, in fact, say some stupid stuff. But at the end of the day, I still think he's miles better than Hillary. So that's where I stand on that. Now, exciting year, very exciting year. One thing that I do like to do when I do these broadcasts is I plug HTC quite a bit. And we're going to move on from that whole presidential election subject. Hopefully people take that with a grain of salt. Probably going to get a lot of angry comments and a lot of angry people saying automatically, well, hey, that guy's wrong. But again, do some fact checking before we decide I'm wrong, shall we? But HTC is actually a company that I'm highly invested in when it comes down to cell phones. Currently, I'm riding with the LG V10, which is actually quite the awesome phone. I'm actually quite happy with it. I think it's a great device, great product. It's done everything I needed it to do. My last phone before that, I tried out the Galaxy Note. Was it the 5, I believe? The 5. I'm not sure. I think it was the 5. I'm going to lay one of myself. This is something I did on Spreaker all the time. Now you get to watch me do it and hate me even more for it. You know smoking's bad for you. So is the air we're breathing in. That's how bad it's come to be these days. Where was I though? Sorry. Been walking around without a t-shirt past couple days. It's still cold. Getting a little bit of congestion from it. But it's not cold cold. It's like comfortable cold. It's like I turned off the heat and have my window open cold. Like, it actually inspired me to do some spring cleaning. I did spring cleaning today. I moved everything around and I fucking vacuumed under everything, cleaned off everything. Laundry's done, already folded and put away. It's really weird how nice weather makes you move more. Anyways, moving forward, I'm actually, like I said, a big fan of tech, especially cell phones. I think they're great. I think they're just awesome because, again, watching the technology build up as it has, it's bringing us all closer together, and there's more of a demand for that. And it's like this microcomputer you can hold in your hand and carry around with you, whether it be to play games. There are many emulators these days. I don't feel right about smoking on camera. That's weird. Like, I honestly, I want to, but I can't at the same time. Maybe when I get into like some heavier rants, we can do that, right? I can justify that with myself, but honestly, I don't know. It's weird. Like, I could smoke all the time on Spreaker, have a cigarette here and there, and I'd be perfectly fine with that. I'd even say, give me a second while I light a smoke. It feels weird on here. It feels kind of dirty. So I'm going to put that out for now and save it for after I'm done. Rare occasion when I put out a cigarette, but congratulations, guys. You got to witness it. But, like I said, I was experimenting with other phones recently because, unfortunately, HTC is no longer carried in by most carriers. Particularly my carrier, which is T-Mobile, love by the way, due to some issues with people taking to it and the way they react to it. Let's get that off camera. However, I am a member of Elevate, and really exciting news for anyone that watches this and might be into the technology. If you make it past the political rant, which I hope you did, if not, then I respect your decision. It's your right as a human being, just like it's my right to say what I said as a human being. Everyone's going to have a different opinion. Maybe you have a different way of looking at it. If you feel like you got to say something to me, feel free to go ahead and say it. I'm all ears, and I will literally sit there. I will read what you have to say, take it into consideration, and I'll reply. Now, the Samsung subject, still just as disappointing for me. I have not tried out anything Apple, and my last Apple product I owned back in 2012, and I have not touched an Apple product since then, considering it just for to gain the experience with the whole technology. But my brother has one, my mother has one, and my sister has one. They all love it. They swear by it. However, so right now I'm on the V10 after a bad experience with the Note 5, and I am looking to get back into HTC, but quite excitingly, they have announced a new phone back last month. They had a press conference. They announced it. They announced two new phones, which was the Uplay, which is going to be in select markets. I think around the same time as the Ultra, and then they have the U Ultra, which is the big boy, the big bad boy. That's like the flagship, beautiful. And they've done a lot of cool things with this. They've went ahead and they've done like a liquid color almost, they call it, like a liquid coat color. And it's on the back of a piece of glass that they're using for the back housing of the phone now. They've went ahead and they've given up on the whole concept of the complete metal unibody. Unfortunately, we lost the 3.5 millimeter headphone jack with that, which to me is a shame because you got people like me who go ahead, we invest the money, and we're buying these headphones. They're all fucked now. They're useless. You're not going to have any more use for them if you don't have the 3.5 millimeter headphone jack. And now I have two pairs of Beats that when I do eventually upgrade to this phone like I'm thinking about doing, those are going to be useless. That's why I can easily throw them and not feel bad about its money down the drain now. But that's aside from the point I was trying to make. Actually, really exciting though is within the next couple of weeks, Elevate, the new leader of Elevate, unfortunately we saw Laura Kimball step down. I'm going to miss the woman dearly. She really was a sweetheart. I didn't really get to interact with her too much because I know obviously she's busy and well, they all are, and that kind of position is huge. But that was my Airwick automatic time spray. Probably should have shut that off before this. I actually turned my phone on silent for this. Thought I had that much. Left that going. But he's actually going to be. I don't remember the gentleman's name right now. It's been a while since I've been active in Elevate. I actually just recently jumped back in, conveniently at a good time with what he's about to be doing. But he's going to be sending out testers to Elevate members. And basically through this, we will get a day or two with the phone. I think at least 2 days we get with the phone before he sends out a new label and says, hey, pass it on. But we get to test drive the device, which I'm personally really excited about, honestly. I'm not going to lie. I'm super hyped about it because it's actually really cool that before I touch this phone for myself and pay, the price tag that's on it, I'm going to have a chance to see it physically in my hand, hold it, play with it, use it for a couple days, take a spin. It's going to be nice, right? But here's the thing, is I actually read on there that it was encouraged that we do show it off online a little bit. We take pictures with it, post them online. So I will be posting actual video and photo through the phone onto my social media accounts as well. One of the episodes I do here, and I know I'm a little tight on time sometimes with some things. For example, I said the first tester I was going to do, whereas an official episode was going to be Late Nights with Campbell, and here we are, Midday Madness. Like, what's going on, right? Unfortunately, busy. I got a lot on my schedule between working the overnight jobs, which get in the way of that automatically, and not to mention, I had appointments I had to get to attend to with people over very important things. So here we are with Midday Madness, which is something I actually have not done in probably a good year and a half. I stopped doing Midday Madness, but I figure that with my schedule flopping like it does, I'll go ahead and I'll bring it back, right? And we'll go ahead and take a whack at it. So I will be getting that phone physically in my hand, and within that review, probably give it a full 24 hours to play with it. But we'll come here and we'll do a quick review. I'll show it off to you guys, share it a little bit, and definitely something we can be excited about and look forward to. There's actually something that I think it's Aaron Baker, if I'm not mistaken. I think that might be his name. I'm going to have to confirm that, though. Don't hold me to it. But he did say that the phone has a much different look in person. And honestly, from the video and picture I've seen, it's gorgeous. I'm actually excited to get to see that in person. And it's a shame that all of you won't be here with me when I do show it off for that little quick test drive review to see that beauty. Because I'm actually pretty excited to see that beauty, I'm not going to lie. As a big HTC fan, it's something I look forward to. I always look forward to getting a new phone in my hand and being able to look at it and admire it. Like, I was awestruck by the V10. I'm an HTC guy, and that's normally where I like to stick. But this, to me, was just amazing. It was, I loved the way they did it, honestly, especially with introducing the second screen for the little information cluster there. You got these beautiful metal sides on the end. The back looks really nice for being a removable cover. They didn't cheap out on it, though, which is great. And quite frankly, the fingerprint scanner on it's nice and comfortable. They have a nice little soft logo right there. I think it's great. And the phone runs and does everything it's supposed to do, which is even better and puts the icing on the cake, so to speak. So I'm excited to see the HTC U Ultra in person and be able to get it in my hands and really play with it. So something I will pre-announce. But, again, that's one of those subjects we'll touch more on later. We're going to move forward for now. I don't know which way you guys prefer for forward. Is this a better forward or this? Kind of like this, the way I'm positioned right now. But, again, now everyone can see I'm a big hands talker, too. I've noticed that, actually. I've been talking a lot more with my hands since I started doing this. And I'm just kind of bobbing around. Normally, what I would be doing is I would literally, when I did the Spreaker episodes, I would have my headphones in because I used that microphone. And I would literally pace back and forth in this room, actually, when I was doing it here. There was a brief time where I actually had a desk. And I had everything going through the laptop. And I would actually sit at the desk and do it with an actual headset. But it did not last long, as a matter of fact. For the most part, I paced back and forth when I was doing it back in, what was it? Was it 2015? In 2016, I used to be outside pacing back and forth. I always pace back and forth normally, so as you can see, I'm jittery and I'm moving a lot. I'd move around talking like this, like an idiot, just flailing my hands here, and every now and then the neighbors would come outside, look at me, and like, what's that fella doing? He looks fucking insane. I just kind of, oops. But, you know, you're definitely noticing now that I'm a big hands talker, which is something I'm huge on. But moving forward from that fact, there is something else actually that I have noticed that I did want to touch on. I know this is going to be very hit or miss. This is another one of them subjects people care about, people don't care about. Not quite as extreme as Donald Trump, but the world of WWE, the world of wrestling. I'm actually, as you know, a big wrestling fan. I've made that note in the past. And I think what's going on lately is awesome. I haven't really got a chance to really sit there and watch what's everything going on. But I do pay attention to like scorecards and what's going on and who's the champion right now and how it happened and what's the big match at the show. And there's a couple things I want to touch on. And one was just kind of like why would you do that? And the other, I think, is fucking great. Amazing, just finally happening. And I think it's about damn time. The one that really gets me is Roman Reigns. I know. I can hear the negativity brewing in my head already as I say that. But we're watching him get shoved down our throats a little bit again. Ow, that kind of hurt. I'm telling you, doing that just is not working for me. I was in a car accident less than a month ago, and unfortunately, my hand was one of the things to take the damage, so constantly punching my palm is not working for me. I'm starting to feel it. Ooh. However, this whole Roman Reigns thing, again with the number 30 in the Royal Rumble, and they almost teased repeating, and that was just kind of why would you do that? And they keep throwing him in these big matches, even though nobody wants to see him in these big matches. We still see him in these big matches. I'm getting a little tired of that, and I'm hoping that if I say it enough times, it's going to go somewhere. When he won the United States Championship, I was actually a little excited. But not only did he carry the title with absolutely zero dignity and no cares in the world, like it was just nothing, he went ahead and got out of that quickly and moved into the whole big title picture again. I don't understand that. I think what they need to do with him, like I've said before, is they really, 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 really need to take Roman Reigns and they need to go ahead and they need to fucking just take him, throw him into the mid-card, let him develop up, and then honestly, I think he would have the potential to be something great one day. But they're not giving him that time to develop. They're just trying to automatically, here, take him, and it's not working. It's not working. Vince, it's not working. Have you not realized that yet? It's just like there's this game going around. It looks like what is that game? It's Bejeweled, I believe it is, that everyone was obsessed with. But it's wrestling based, and for everything that you like go through, they go ahead and perform moves and blah 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 blah. But they're trying to pass off that the man was in NXT in there. Here's the thing, people. Roman Reigns never went through NXT. That was another part of the reason people were so upset with him, is because it looked almost as if he was handed everything from the beginning. Roman Reigns never had to go through NXT like most people have to these days. He just jumped right into the Shield, and that was that. Roman Reigns breaks up from the Shield. The whole Shield breaks up. Who keeps the theme music to this day, mind you? Keeps the whole uniform going and keeps the whole badass routine? Roman Reigns. Who gets automatically thrown in the title picture? Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns is literally being handed everything, and the guy is just not ready for it. His mic skills aren't sharp enough yet, and he's just too fresh. Was too fresh to the single scene. And that's one big thing that WWE isn't understanding, is you can make up all the facts you want, make it look however you want it to look. You can do this, you can do that. It's not going to make a difference at the end of the day. The people are not dumb. The people know. People like me pay attention and know. Now, you might trick a 5-year-old be like, look, Daddy, Roman Reigns back from his NXT days. But we know better, WWE. That's the only person you're tricking with that. It's kind of like the whole Santa Claus thing. all over again. However, though, what does excite me, what really just dug deep when I saw it online, and it tickled me pink, and I was just like a little kid for Bray Wyatt is our WWE World Heavyweight Champion. By God, it's finally happened. It's finally happened. It's finally happened. I don't know if he finally got on his knees and blueprints, but he is finally receiving a push, which is great because all we have seen Bray Wyatt do is we've seen him land in some pretty big matches, but he always ends up the jobber. He always ends up losing, and they always end up making a fool of him. Honestly, in my opinion, it blows my fucking mind that he is still accepted by the fans as much as he is, but look at him every time he comes out. Everyone's lighting up their phones, doing the fireflies. Everyone's cheering. People love him. And somehow, that's still working out for him. And I think it's awesome. I think it's amazing to finally see this guy gets the push he needs. Now, the only reason he's probably getting this push is so that Randy Orton can turn on him and challenge him at WrestleMania for, a good storyline purpose. But that in itself is also a good thing. As much as I don't want to see Bray lose the title, he's still got to run with the title for a while. He gets it for a good month or so. Then passes it off to Randy Orton, which was a big match because they actually built it up and made storyline with it. And it can look like Randy Orton came in, he has the bragging rights, he tore the Wyatt family apart, and now there you go. Bray Wyatt is your perfect singles competitor. And here's the thing, we've watched everyone else get breaking out of the Wyatt family and leave jobber status behind. We've watched it happen to Luke Gallows. We watched it happen to Braun Strowman. Now it's Bray Wyatt's turn to leave behind the Wyatt family. If he just keeps with the whole Eater of Worlds personality, he goes ahead, says his follow the buzzards every now and then after some creepy and dark promo he cuts, and he dominates. I think that would be great. Quite frankly, The Undertaker's getting ready to retire. He's pulling out of there slowly. We know the guy's checked out, and I hate to say I love The Undertaker, but even him himself has said it. When he gets to that point where people can look at him, point and say, gee, I remember when. That's the problem. That's when no wrestler ever wants to be. They don't want to think that they're not at their best and they're past their prime. They want to continue giving you what you're coming to get. They want to continue giving top performances. And quite frankly, Undertaker has given us some fucking matches like no one else is going to give. However, leaving behind The Undertaker, as he has rightfully earned the right to retire, step away and enjoy what's left of his time here on this planet, we need someone to take that, to fill that void, because where, yes, in the past, we never had that, now it's just something that just kind of exists, that little bit of sci-fi, that little bit of a creepy pull, and I think we do need that, and that's just something that I'm not ready to let go of yet. And Bray Wyatt is perfect for the job. Now, we could always just tell Kane to put the mask back on and step out, but here's the thing. After how much you guys threw Kane around, that just doesn't feel good enough anymore. That doesn't feel acceptable. Maybe once upon a time, I could have looked at it and said, yeah, no, okay, that'll work, right? Undertaker's supposed brother, fucking the devil's favorite demon, blah, blah, blah. That's awesome. But they also made a big-time jobber out of Kane, and honestly, it's hard to keep that respect up for him. It's not like Bray Wyatt, where Bray Wyatt can come out, cut a good promo, and win you back over and keep you on his side, even though he keeps repetitively losing. But then you have things they've done, stupid mistakes like Corporate Kane. Come on, really? You're going to put a tie on him? And then the whole Kane and Seth Rollins feud. I mean, for real. Oh, I don't know what happened there, but I swear it wasn't me. We're going to get to the bottom of it. Next thing you know, guys walking out in a mask, pretty much trying to rip off the tie. It just doesn't work. It doesn't work, especially when we did the punishment where he was a salesman for the day selling merchandise. You just ruined that credibility and respect a long time ago, WWE. I'm sorry, I'm not buying into it. But that's where you have this gold mine in Bray fucking Wyatt. You have this gold mine, this guy who's ready to pick up. And honestly, I'm really disappointed that he did not win against The Undertaker at WrestleMania, because that would have been like a passing of the torch. Instead, we gave it to Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar, the guy who makes an appearance once a month, if not every other month, and has really not done anything significant in the company as of recently, and except for, take the title and make it disappear like a magician. I think Bray Wyatt would have been that perfect guy, and quite frankly, it's not too late to cash that check because we still support him. We still see him the same way we have always seen Bray Wyatt. You guys don't realize gone are the days of Husky Harris, and here are the days of Bray Wyatt, and it's perfect. It's the perfect thing to sell, the perfect pitch to give people after The Undertaker walks away. You have Bray Wyatt taking over. Do a passing of the torch. Give us that. As a matter of fact, scratch that. Let me do something better. Let me come up with a better idea. And if anyone at WWE catches a glimpse of this, please, by all means, take this into considerations for your storyline writing. I say we scrap the whole Roman Reigns and Undertaker thing because we already know where that's heading. I don't want to see that. The fans don't want to see that. We already got upset enough when you gave it to a part-timer like Brock Lesnar. What I say is you guys are in a beautiful way. Keep Randy Orton swearing his alliance to Bray Wyatt until after WrestleMania. And then you can go ahead and you can break into that later. But what you should do is pass the torch. This is the perfect opportunity. Undertaker said he was done after last year's WrestleMania. So what do you do with that, honestly? I say if he's willing to come back and fight again this year like it seems like he is so far, put him up against Bray Wyatt. Give him and Bray Wyatt that WrestleMania match. Let Randy Orton be stubborn and say, I'm not going to come after you, Bray, and let him go after the Universal title. Why not? And then you have Undertaker versus Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania for the title. But here's the thing. Undertaker didn't win the Rumble like everyone was banking on him to this year. So Bray Wyatt laughs and makes him a challenge. That if he wins, he's the WWE World Heavyweight Champion. If he loses, he will no longer step foot into the WWE, and that will be The Undertaker's retirement right there, and it's perfect. Because that would be the ultimate passing of the torch, because while Undertaker lost to Brock Lesnar way back when, we still respect him, just like with Bray Wyatt's always on this big jobbing and losing streak. We still have all the respect in the world for him, so there you go. It's a win-win. I say go for it. There you go. Cap off The Undertaker's career, in a way that's fitting. You give someone else a major push they need, because let's face it, no matter what you guys do to Bray Wyatt, you're never going to get rid of him. You're never going to cost him his credibility. It's amazing how much you've dragged this guy through the mud, and he just wears it like it's nothing. He just brushes it off every day, no big deal. Crowd takes to him and loves him and still continues to cheer and support him every time he comes out. And I think that is something amazing in and on its own that you guys really need to cash in on. But again, not my call as much as it is yours. So, went ahead and hit the 45-minute mark. Normally I only do this for a half hour. This has been so much fun. It's been great to get out here and, be able to do this again. Even if it has been awkwardly on camera and I feel really weird about it, especially after the whole shaving. I'm telling you, with the beard, so much better. But again, my name is Campbell. Thank you for joining me from Zero Focus Entertainment. I will look forward to seeing you guys next time I do this, whenever it may be. I will try to find the time to run this and maybe convert over slowly back to the Zero Focus name, as right now, like I said, we're going through my personal name to mess with this and see how it goes. Got suggestions for the next time I come on what I should touch base and talk about? Please do. You got anything you want to comment and react to on this episode basis? I would be more than happy to hear you out and be able to take in your thoughts, and maybe I can even share some of my own, and we can try to help each other find a middle ground. Again, my name was Campbell from Zero Focus Entertainment. Thank you for joining me. I'm out.